Okay, you need to hire a Silverlight developer.
Uh-huh.
That's a pretty niche skill in today's world.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we're going to unpack the essentials in this mini deep dive.
Okay.
We'll tackle the big questions,
Right.
why these developers are still relevant,
Mm-hmm.
what they actually do,
Yep.
and the key things to consider when hiring one.
Sounds good.
Want to skip the headache and find the right developer fast?
Sure.
Head over to theperfectdeveloper.com
Okay.
and try their 5 questions tool.
All right.
It'll match you with the perfect developer for your needs,
Okay.
whether for Silverlight or any other tech.
What's fascinating here is that despite Silverlight being discontinued back in 2021, many companies still rely on it.
Really?
This creates a demand for developers who can maintain and even update those legacy applications.
It's like having a vintage car you love,
Yeah,
but mechanics who specialize in it are getting harder to find.
exactly.
Wow.
And it goes deeper than just keeping those systems running. The Silverlight Developers Playbook from theperfectdeveloper.com points out that these developers often need to integrate multimedia elements, handle complex data interactions, and even prepare those applications for eventual migration to newer technologies.
So they're not just maintaining the past.
Right.
They're bridging the gap to the future.
Exactly.
What kind of skills are we talking about specifically?
Well, C# and XML are their bread and butter, but a truly effective Silverlight developer also needs a deep understanding of the .NET framework.
Okay.
And might even work with frameworks like Prism for building complex applications or WCF RIA services for data communication.
I see.
It's a unique blend of older and sometimes newer technologies.
So it's a specialist role for sure.
Yes.
But why would a company choose to stick with Silverlight instead of just migrating everything?
That's where the strategic why and when come in.
Okay.
Sometimes a full-blown migration isn't feasible or cost-effective in the short term.
Right.
Maybe the legacy application is deeply integrated into the business.
Uh-huh.
Or the cost of switching outweighs the benefits right now.
I see.
In those cases, finding a skilled Silverlight developer can buy you time
Yeah.
while you plan your long-term strategy.
It's like keeping that vintage car running smoothly while you save up for a new model.
Precisely.
I like that.
And surprisingly, some companies are even willing to pay a premium for experienced Silverlight developers who can help them migrate smoothly without disrupting their core operations.
So let's say you've decided that hiring a Silverlight developer is the right move for your business.
Okay.
What are the key things to consider during the hiring process?
Well, you'll need to decide on your hiring model.
Okay.
Do you need someone full-time or part-time, in-house or outsourced,
Yeah.
local or overseas?
Right.
Each option has its own set of pros and cons.
Okay.
And the perfectdeveloper.com offers a great breakdown of those considerations to guide your decision-making.
It's almost like choosing between restoring that vintage car yourself or finding a specialist mechanic.
Yes, and the right choice depends on your budget, your timeline, and the level of control you want to maintain.
So let's dive into those different hiring models and explore their nuances in the next part of our mini deep dive.
Sounds good. All right, let's unpack those hiring models.
Okay.
If you've got a lot of ongoing work with your Silverlight applications, think regular updates, bug fixes, or even planning for a migration.
Right.
A full-time developer might be your best bet.
They become a dedicated member of your team, intimately familiar with your systems and always there when you need them.
Exactly.
But that level of commitment comes at a cost, right?
Yes. Full-time employees mean salaries, benefits, and all those overhead expenses.
Makes sense.
Now, if your Silverlight needs are more occasional,
Okay.
perhaps a few bug fixes here and there, or a small update,
Yeah.
a part-time developer could be more cost-effective.
You get the expertise you need without the full-time commitment.
Exactly. Now, let's shift gears to in-house versus outsourced. With an in-house developer, you get that direct control,
Yeah.
close collaboration, and someone who's right there in the trenches with the rest of your team.
That can be super valuable for complex projects, especially those that require a deep understanding of your company's specific systems.
Yeah.
But what if you need a wider range of skills or you're working with a tighter budget?
That's where outsourcing can be a great option.
Okay.
You can tap into a global pool of talent and often find specialized expertise at a lower cost.
And you can scale your team up or down more easily, depending on the project's needs.
Exactly.
But wouldn't communication and coordination be more challenging with a remote team, especially if they're overseas?
It's definitely something to consider.
Right.
You might face time zone differences,
Yeah.
language barriers, or even cultural nuances that could impact the workflow.
So it sounds like there's no one-size-fits-all solution. The best model really depends on a company's specific needs and priorities.
Absolutely. It's about weighing those pros and cons carefully
Right.
and choosing what aligns best with your goals and resources.
Okay.
Now, once you've decided on your model, let's talk about actually finding those Silverlight developers.
Right, because it's not like they're just hanging out at the local coffee shop waiting to be discovered.
Right.
Where do you even start looking for someone with this niche skill set?
Well, theperfectdeveloper.com is a great resource.
Okay.
They have a vast network of developers,
Mhm.
and their 5 questions tool can really narrow down your search
Yeah.
to find the ideal candidate who fits your specific requirements.
So that takes some of the guesswork out of the equation.
Right.
But what about more traditional approaches?
Job boards like Stack Overflow,
Uh-huh.
GitHub, and LinkedIn are still valuable resources,
Okay.
especially if you're looking for someone with specific experience
Yeah.
or a proven track record.
Yeah?
You can also tap into freelance platforms like Upwork or TopTal
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking for short-term contracts or project-based work.
And don't forget about the power of networking.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Sometimes the best candidates come from personal referrals
Yes,
or connections within your industry.
absolutely.
Reach out to your contacts, attend industry events, or even join online communities dedicated to Silverlight development.
Yeah.
You never know where that perfect candidate might be hiding.
So it sounds like finding a Silverlight developer requires a bit of strategy and creativity.
It does.
But before we wrap up, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
How long can companies realistically rely on Silverlight?
Right.
Isn't migration to newer technologies inevitable at some point?
That's the million-dollar question.
Is.
And it's something every company needs to consider carefully.
For sure.
Maintaining a legacy system has its costs and risks.
Yes.
And at some point, those might outweigh the benefits of sticking with what you know.
Exactly.
So it's not just about finding a developer.
Right.
It's about planning for the future of your technology.
Precisely. You need to weigh the short-term benefits of maintaining Silverlight against the long-term advantages of moving to a more modern and sustainable platform.
Okay.
And sometimes that same Silverlight developer you hire can be instrumental in guiding that transition.
So their expertise in the old ways can actually be an asset in navigating the path to the new.
Exactly. They can help ensure a smoother transition
Right.
and minimize any disruptions to your business operations.
It's like having a guide who knows all the back roads and shortcuts, making that journey a bit less daunting.
That's a great analogy.
I like that.
And with the right guidance and resources, that transition can be a strategic advantage
Yeah.
rather than a technical headache.
So let's wrap up this mini deep dive with some final thoughts and actionable advice for our listeners.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground in this mini deep dive.
We have.
We've talked about why Silverlight developers are still relevant, the kind of work they do,
Yeah.
the different hiring models, and even the strategic considerations of sticking with legacy systems versus migrating to newer technologies.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
And it all boils down to making informed decisions that align with your business goals.
Right.
If you need to keep those Silverlight applications running smoothly, hiring a skilled developer can be a smart move.
But it's crucial to have a long-term vision.
Absolutely.
Don't let those legacy systems hold you back from embracing innovation and growth.
Yeah, start playing that migration journey sooner rather than later.
Okay.
And who knows, maybe that same Silverlight expert you hire can be your guide on that journey.
It's like having a seasoned navigator who can help you steer through those uncharted waters.
Precisely.
I like that.
And speaking of finding the right navigator, remember that theperfectdeveloper.com can be an invaluable resource.
Oh, yeah.
Their 5 questions tool can help you quickly identify the perfect developer for your needs, whether for Silverlight or any other technology.
So don't get bogged down in the complexities of the developer search.
Yeah.
Let theperfectdeveloper.com simplify the process and connect you with the right talent.
Great advice.
That's it for our mini deep dive into the world of hiring Silverlight developers.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you found it insightful.
And remember, the best time to start planning for the future is now.